Hi students, so welcome back to the biology session. So I am continuing with the same lesson, that is organisms and population. So in the last video we have discussed up to responses and several types of adaptations, and we also given some good examples of various adaptations. And after that, now we are going to continue with the next topic, that is population attributes. So now let us try to understand first of all what are attributes. So attributes are nothing but, the meaning of the terminology attributes is characteristic features. Okay, so meaning of attributes is characteristic features. So here we are going to learn, we are going to observe the characteristic features of population. So what is the meaning of population? So population means a large group of individuals in a particular area. Okay, so this is the simple definition of population. Okay, a large group of individuals in a particular area. So now we are going to learn the characteristic features of a total group of individuals in a particular area. Okay, we are not going to learn the characteristic features, we are not going to observe the characteristic features of a single person, okay, a single individual. Here we are going to learn a group of individuals characters. Okay, then generally whatever individuals present in this large group, they will be sharing the resources, available resources, or they will be competing with others for available resources. Okay, so in a large group, what happens? Individuals present over there, they will be sharing the resources with other individuals, or they will be competing with others for the available resources. Then talking about their reproduction, which is so natural, and this generally called as inbreeding here. Okay, so inbreeding is nothing but a process of reproduction in this group of individuals. And remember, we can consider this capacity, means reproduction capacity, those organisms who are having the ability of performing reproduction only. So in the total organisms, in the total group of organisms, all the organisms cannot have the capacity of reproduction. So this particular characteristic feature, reproduction, which is happening naturally within a group of organisms, can be considered as inbreeding. And we need to remember here, inbreeding in the sense organisms which are present in reproductive age. Okay, so these are the 3 points to remember among the population, according to population. So population means this is the statement, and what they do. So group of organisms, how they live in a area and how they reproduce. Now based on this, we will be discussing something called as population attributes. So there are some list of attributes. So the next topic is list of attributes. So under the list of attributes, we are going to discuss 6 different types of attributes. Okay, so the first one start with birth rate and death rate, birth rate and death rate. So Here, let us take example of a pond ecosystem. Okay, in this pond ecosystem, initially there were 20 lotus plants. So after 1 year, 28 lotus plants are identified. That means in 1 year of time, 20 lotus plants able to reproduce 8 more lotus plants. So 20 became 28. So now the birth rate here can be calculated like this. Okay. So how many are the increment here? So 8 plants are the increased. Out of what? 20. Right. So how we can calculate birth rate means? So this is very important. So initially 20 and increased ones are 8. So 8 by 20. 8 by 20, the value will be 0.4. Okay. So 8 plants are the new plants, 20 are the parental plants. So 8 by 20 giving rise to 0.4. And remember the most thing, important thing, per capita unit used to express the birth rate and death rate. Okay. So per capita, very very important, per capita is the unit used to express the birth rate and death rate. Okay. So moving on to the next, second one, sex ratio. Okay. The second attribute, in the list we told 6 attributes. First one is birth rate and death rate, and the second one is sex ratio. So under sex ratio, it talks about the ratio or percentage of male and female among the population. So how many males are there and how many females are there in a large group of individuals. So this is what called as sex ratio, the second attribute. Okay, ratio or percentage of male and female among the population. Then the third attribute is age distribution. The third attribute under the list is age distribution. So age distribution, this can be done by dividing the total population into 3 age brackets. Okay. So this age distribution can be understood by dividing the total population. Okay. The total number of individuals, we will be dividing them into 3 age brackets. So what are those 3 age brackets means? Post reproductive, reproductive, pre-reproductive. Okay. So very simple to understand. Reproductive, which are at matured age, which are at matured ones, and they have the ability, they have the capacity to reproduce. So pre-reproductive. So what is pre-reproductive means? They are still not matured enough for reproduction. And post-reproductive, which group of people or group of individuals cannot reproductive. Okay. So after reproductive and before reproductive. So pre-reproductive, before reproduction or before maturation, reproductive. So organisms where they can reproduce. Okay. Or simply to say matured ones. Okay. Then next one, post-reproductive, organisms which cannot reproduce. Okay. So now based on these age brackets, again we can see the construction of something called as age pyramids. Okay, we can see something called as age pyramids, different types of age pyramids based on these three age brackets. Okay, so we are going to understand three different types of age pyramids based on these three age brackets. Okay, so the first one, growing population. First one is first type of age pyramid, growing population. So here so in this is pre-reproductive, as I told. So this age group is still under immature condition. So this pre-reproductive stage becomes reproductive, and this is the reproductive stage, and this is the post reproductive stage. Okay, so in this manner all the time this pre-reproductive, so if we observe this base is very larger when compared to this reproductive age group and post reproductive age group. So here in case of this pre-reproductive age group, it is very larger population. Okay, so these organisms, all these organisms will be coming to this stage. Okay, so that's why this population will be keep on growing here. Okay, that's why we call this as a growing population. So the very best example, this is observed in case of in our country India. Okay, so next one, steady population. Steady population. So here the name itself tells us clearly, steady means there is no gradual increase or drastic decrease. So whatever population may existing, that will be keep on going like that, just like that. So let us understand. So the base is again so this is pre-reproductive and this is reproductive and this is post reproductive. So if we observe this, so pre-reproductive age group, okay, whatever the size of pre-reproductive age group is there, so almost all reproductive age group is also similar, just a minor difference is there between these two age groups, okay, and post reproductive is very less. So that's why we mentioned this type of population growth as a steady population. So almost all these organisms present in this age group, they will be reaching the next group, that is reproductive phase. So there will be no much decreasing in the population or there will be no much increasing in the population. So this is what steady population. The best example for this is observed in the country Austria. Okay. Then moving on to the third type of age pyramid. So decline population. So decline means decreasing. So the name itself telling us very clearly decline in the sense decreasing. So let us see. So post reproductive. reproductive and pre-reproductive. So if you observe this pyramid carefully, it is exactly opposite to the first type of pyramid, that is growing population. So here if you observe, pre-reproductive age group organisms are very less when compared to the other two groups, that are reproductive and post-reproductive. So these two groups, when they become more in number, okay, organisms belonging to these group, either reproductive and post-reproductive. So if we observe, reproductive more than reproductive, post-reproductive organisms are more here. So that's why this type of population is called as a decline population. Decline in the sense decreasing. So meaning of decline is decreasing. So the example for this is Japan. Okay. So these are the three different types of age pyramids we can understand under the age distribution attribute. Okay. So now moving on to the next attribute. The attribute name is population density. So even this is also considered as population size. So how to calculate the population density or population size? So we can write it as number of organisms of a particular species. So number of organisms belongs to a particular species, and by the area, the residence in what area, in how much area the number of organisms belongs to a same species are residing. So this formula can be used to detect or understand population density or population size. And remember, it is denoted with capital letter N. Okay. So capital letter N denotes what? Population density or population size. Then moving on to the next attribute, fifth attribute is population growth. So how exactly, or what are the factors influencing the growth of population in particular area? So that is what population growth. Okay. So here we are going to discuss four different types of influencing factors which will be responsible for the increasing of population in an area. So this population growth will be shown in a diagram along with their factors. So let us say this is the area and population density or population size. So now there are four factors will be influencing. I mentioned four factors will be influencing the population growth. So this population density, how it will be growing or how it will be decreasing depending on these four factors. So now what are those factors? One is called as natality, which is meaning of birth rate. Okay. And the second one, immigration. Okay. Natality and immigration. So these two factors generally are responsible for the increasing of this population density. Then there are two more factors. Mortality means death rate. Mortality means death rate. Then emigration. Okay. So these two factors will be responsible for the decreasing of this population density. Okay. So natality, immigration are responsible for increasing, mortality and emigration are responsible for decreasing. So these four factors, how they work on this population density, let us see now. So let us talk the first two factors, natality and immigration. So natality, I told that is birth rate. Okay. So how to calculate birth rate? How to calculate birth rate? What is natality? How we can say it? So number of organisms. So natality, number of organisms birth per 1000. Number of organisms birth per 1000. Okay. Next, another factor, that is the second factor, immigration. So when these two factors, so what is happening here? So organisms keep on born, okay, newborn organisms will be keep on arriving. So those newborn organisms will be increasing the population density. And the second factor, immigration. So what is the meaning of immigration? New organisms coming from somewhere to this population. Okay, immigration means some new organisms will be keep on coming to this population. So here born organisms and new organisms, what they do? They will be increasing the population density. Then the next two factors, mortality and emigration. So I told mortality and emigration, these two are the responsible factors for decreasing of population density. So here mortality, so this is the death rate. So how we can write it? Number of organisms dying by 1000. Number of organisms dying by 1000 means we are going to calculate death rate. So from this population, how many organisms are being eliminated because of their death? Okay. Then another factor, removal factor. So what is the another removal factor here? Emigration. Okay, emigration. So shifting of organisms. Okay, shifting of organisms due to some various regions. Due to various regions. So whatever organisms present in this population, they will be moving away to the some other areas. So that is process. That process is called as what? Emigration. So this is also a elimination process. From the present population, death rate is one elimination point, and emigration, that means moving away of organisms due to various regions. Okay. Because of that, what is happening? Population density will be decreasing. Okay. And there are some indications for this. Okay. Remember some indications for this. So here natality are indicated with B. Immigration is indicated with I. Mortality indicated with D. D means death, right? So here organisms are dying, and emigration is indicated with capital E. So now a most important point, to measure the population growth. To measure the population growth. Okay. So basically we told that population size is represented with a capital N. Population size is represented with capital N. So N is a population size. Okay. N is a population size at the time NT. Okay. So let us say N is a population size at the time NT, means that is an initial time. Okay. So now if we give addition to this time, let me say NT plus 1. NT plus 1 means we have given some more time to the population size to show either increments and decrements together. Okay. So increments and also decrements both are seeing, right? So now how to calculate this NT plus 1? What will be the formula to calculate NT plus 1? So NT is the time of initial population size. nt plus 1. Okay, we have given some time to show some changes for this population density or population size. So now how to calculate this nt plus 1, that is very, very important. So let us see the equation we use to calculate the nt plus 1. Okay, the equation we use is nt plus 1, very, very important. Nt plus 1 equals to nt. Okay, so the initial time. Okay, so plus b minus nt plus 1 equals to nt b plus I minus, okay, so b plus I, because both of them are additions, one increases the population density, minus these two. What are they? Death and also emigration, d plus E. So this is the equation we use to calculate nt plus 1. Okay, so nt plus 1 equals to nt, okay, into b plus I, birth rate plus emigration. So increase, from increase we are deducting. What are we are going to deduct? Death rate plus emigration rate. Okay. So this gives the value of population size after some time given for the population to show either increase and together decrease. Okay. So now moving on to the last attribute, the sixth attribute, that is growth factors. Okay. So these growth factors are observed in two manners. Okay. So one is in lab conditions and another one is in natural conditions. In lab conditions, what happens? So organisms, let us say some microbes. Okay. So these microbes are fed with good nutrition and provided all the safety. Okay, everything is provided inside the lab. So now these microbes happily they will be feeding on this nutrition and they will be keep on reproducing to their maximum capacity. So whatever there will be a maximum capacity for them. Okay, these microbes, they will be feeding happily with the nutrition provided by the lab persons, and microbes will be keep on reproducing to their maximum capacity. So here what happens? Growth will be increasing as it is. Okay, it will keep on increasing and keeping increasing further also. Okay, so that's why here generally in this lab conditions we will be seeing something called as J curve. Okay, so this is called as J curve like this. So J, capital J shape curve is observed in lab conditions. Means initially, so this is the initial stage, and from this initial stage, when the proper nutrition and safety measurements are provided to the organisms, they will be keep on increasing their population like this, and this will be keep on growing further also. Okay, so this is what J shape curve, and this J shape curve is explained by something called as exponential growth. Okay, exponential growth. Then coming to the second type of growth factor, which is observed in case of natural process. Okay, in a natural process, what happens? So there will be at least one factor will be influencing the rate of population. Okay, growth of population. So there will be at least one factor. Let us say availability of food to the organisms. So if there is no proper availability of food, what happens? Generally the rate of population increase, the growth of population will be decreasing, isn't it? So let us say initially it has started like this. Okay, the organisms, okay, started like this, and when they have enough food, okay, food sources are very good for them, they also shown what? Increasing in their rate of population, growth in their population. But what happened after some time, the food factor, the food resources are gone out of the range. So what happened? Then suddenly the rate of growth will be starting declining like this, and this gives S-shape curve. S-shape curve, and this is what explained in case of logistic growth. So under logistic growth we will be seeing S-shape curve, and under exponential growth we will be seeing J-shape growth. So remember, exponential growth is in lab conditions, logistic growth is in natural conditions. Okay, so now let us see more details about this logistic growth and exponential growth. So both of them are very, very important. Many times asked a 5 mark question. They will be asking together, both of them together. Explain in detail what is logistic growth and exponential growth. Okay, they will be asking you for 5 marks, or either they may be asking for just 2 marks or 3 marks also. Any one of them, either logistic growth or exponential growth. So now first let us start with this exponential growth. So what is exponential growth? Already we told. So let us see what are all the equations will be coming for the exponential growth. So in case of exponential growth, we told this is seen in case of lab and resources are unlimited and organisms reproduce to their fullest or maximum capacity, and this is generally called as fitness by Darwin. Okay, so fitness by Darwin, fitness in the sense an organism reproducing to its fullest capacity or maximum capacity. Okay, so this is called as fitness, and this is given by scientist namely Darwin. Okay, so here organisms will be reproducing to their fullest capacity or maximum capacity, so which is also called as fitness, and this term is given by Darwin. So now let us see what are all the equations coming under exponential growth, how a exponential growth curve is drawn. So here let us take first population size, which is denoted with capital N, and after population size, so increase or decrease in the population size, increase or decrease in the population size, that is, let us say the rate of population size by the rate of time. Okay. So what is the population size and what is the time taken for the increasement of or decreasement of this population size. Okay. So here again T stands for the time period. Okay, T stands for the time period required for the increase or decrease of population size. So please remember, so dn, the rate of population size, dt, the rate of time taken for the population size. So T equals to this small letter t equals to time period required for the increase or decrease of population size. Okay. Now generally we will be writing birth per capita. So why we are writing about birth per capita? So if birth is there, then only population size will be increasing, right? Then death per capita. Why we are writing death means? So here we told time period will be showing either increase or decrease. So we need to consider the increasing factor and also we need to consider decreasing factor also. And per capita, so just I told in the first attribute per capita is the unit. So in the first attribute we talked about birth rate and death rate, right? So in that birth rate and death rate we mentioned that per capita is the unit used or expressed to know about the birth rate and death rate. Okay, so that's why. So here increasing factor birth per capita is also considered, decreasing factor death per capita is also considered. So now if we write the equation, a general equation, how it comes? Very, very important. So population size, rate of population size by dn by dt. So time taken for the increasement or decreasement for of this dn. So we need to include, so birth as b, death as d. Okay. So b minus d into population size. So this is the basic equation under this exponential growth. Okay. So what happens? dn by dt equals to b minus d into n. So this b minus d, okay, b minus d next written as r, small r, b minus d is written as r. So r in the sense rise or increase in the population, rise or increase in the population. So the same equation can also written as the same equation dn by dt. So now in case of b minus d equals to r anta helidivalla. Okay, so rn. So this is a final equation we can understand. Okay, dn by dt equals to rn. So because r is nothing but birth minus death. Then if we want to write a mathematical expression of the exponential growth curve, how it looks like? Okay, what is the mathematical expression of this? So mathematical expression of exponential growth. Okay, so how we can write the mathematical exponential growth? Okay, so it will be like this: nt equals to n naught small e, so small e to the power of RT. Okay. So NT equals to N naught small e to the power of RT. Okay. So now let us try to understand what are all these units. Okay. So first one, NT, population size after time t. Population size after time t. So always we will be calculating population size after giving some time, right? So population size after time t. Then N naught initial population size, then small e is log value, is nothing but log value. Then r, small r, rise or increase rate of population growth, rise or increase rate of population growth. Then again T is time period. So T is time period. So this is the mathematical expression will be used to calculate population size after giving some time to show either increase or decrease in the population size. So this is very, very important. NT equals to N naught E to the power of RT. So NT population size after time t, N naught initial population size, E is a lag value, R is rise or increase in the rate of population growth, T is the time period. Okay. So now if we plot the values, if we substitute some values into this formula, this mathematical expression, we will be getting a curve like this. So as I said earlier, so initially there will be a slow growth, and this after surplus, I mean unlimited resources, what happens? A drastic increase will be seen in the growth of organisms. So that's why on the graph we will be able to observe the capital J shape curve on the graph. So this is what? Exponential growth. Then after this exponential growth, another growth is called as logistic growth. So logistic growth, this is a natural process. Resources are limited. Okay. Then every ecosystem or habitat will have something called as carrying capacity. Okay. So here we need to understand something called as carrying capacity. So as I told, logistic growth will be a natural one observed in natural processes, and here resources will be limited, and every ecosystem or habitat will be having something called as carrying capacity, and this carrying capacity is denoted by capital K. Carrying capacity is denoted by capital K. So now let us say, what is carrying capacity? Very, very important. 1 mark or 2 mark question may come on this carrying capacity. So carrying capacity means, so each and every ecosystem can allow organism to the maximum capacity. Okay. So after that, they cannot allow, that ecosystem or habitat cannot allow one more organism into this ecosystem or habitat. So the maximum carrying capacity of ecosystem or habitat. Okay. So let us say there is an pond like this, some pond is there. Okay. So in this pond, to its maximum, it provided the accommodation to several fishes. Okay. So this is the carrying capacity of this pond. So if some more fish, okay, want to enter this ecosystem, there is no capacity with that ecosystem. Okay. So the maximum capacity, maximum carrying capacity is already full. Okay. So this ecosystem, this habitat cannot accommodate more organisms than what it can accommodate. So that is what called as carrying capacity, denoted with capital K. Okay. So now if we draw the diagram, if we draw the graph on the based on this index, based on this logistic growth, how it looks like. Okay. So the equation used for dn by dt, okay, dn by dt equals to Rn k minus n by n. So this is the equation used in case of logistic growth rate. So dn by dt equals to Rn k minus n by n. Sorry, k minus n by k. Okay, so this is the equation given in case of logistic growth. So by applying this mathematical equation or expression, so on the graph, so initial phase, initial growth phase, here called as lag period. Okay, so process will be, growth will be very slow. So when the food resources or whatever resources are required to the organisms, if those resources are available in proper manner, then slowly this lag period will be showing the growth like this. And this peak stage, the growth stage, is mentioned as log period or exponential phase. So where we can see a good amount of growth in organisms present in that particular area. Now, I told that logistic growth can be affected by any one limiting factor. Just one limiting factor is enough to decelerate or decrease the growth of organisms in natural processes. So let us say there is food is not available for those organisms present in this area, then what happens? This log will be slowly decelerate. So this period is called as deceleration. So deceleration is nothing but opposite to acceleration. So acceleration means rising like this. Okay. So now what it is happening? It is going to decrease. That's why this particular phase is mentioned as deceleration. And after deceleration, what happens? Organisms reaches to steady phase. Organisms will be reaching the steady phase. Means the rate of growth is not increasing. The reason here is any one of the factor will be. Okay, so here from deceleration the rate of growth will be reaching to the steady phase. So here any one of the factors will be playing an important role, crucial role in deceleration, and after deceleration the rate of growth will be finally reaching to the steady phase. That means there will be no more increase in the growth rate. So finally it gives S-shape or sigmoid curve. Okay, so that is what logistic growth rate. Now moving on to the next topic, that is life history variation. So life history variation. So this topic tells us about the fitness of an organism. So already we once discussed what is fitness. Okay, so fitness given by scientist namely Darwin. So what is the fitness? What is the name of? What is the meaning of fitness? Means an organism reproducing to its fullest or maximum capacity. So in its lifetime, whatever may be the organism, okay, so that organism in its lifetime reproducing to its fullest capacity or maximum capacity is called as fitness, and that term is given by Darwin. So now, let us see various examples. Let us see various examples of various organisms, how they reproduce in their lifetime. So here we may have a question. So why we are discussing this life history variation? Because the only one crucial process, reproduction, plays a major role in the increase of the population of any type of organism, right? So that's the reason we are discussing this life history variation. So any organism, growth of its population or increase of its population depends on only one natural process, that is reproduction, right? So that's the logic behind discussing this life history variation. So now there are some examples here. So those examples, so starting with this point, only once reproducing life cycle. Some organisms will be reproducing only once in their entire lifetime. So examples, wheat and bamboo. Okay. Then moving to the second type. So in this second type, many times in their life cycle. So what is many times? Means here reproducing, showing reproduction many times in their life cycle. Example, mango. So mango in its lifetime, it can reproduce many times. So in fruiting, so fruits will be containing seeds. That is nothing but equal to reproduction, right? Then, and the third example, the size of organism is smaller, but they reproduce more number of offspring. Okay, so organism will be very smaller in size, but it will be reproducing. It will be giving rise to many number of offspring in case of oysters and fishes. Then, so automatically when compared to these two, here the rate of population, growth of population will be higher when compared to these two, right? Then, moving on to another example, size of organism is large, but they reproduce very less number of offspring. Okay, so here the organism size is very larger, but the reproduction rate is very less. The number of offspring will be very less. So in case of examples are in case of birds and mammals. Okay, so even we people include in this. Okay, so here these examples will be giving us an idea the variations among the rate of growth of population. So reproduction capacity will be various. Okay, it will be variation. There is a variation if we look at all these examples. So when reproduction is varies, so automatically the rate of growth or the rate of population growth is also differs from organisms to organisms. Okay, so with this I end this session. In the next video we will be talking about population interactions.